You know, like my dick is inside my body.
Right. Would you ever? But they like you, right?
Vagina of a 4-year-old. Like literally, there'd be no balls; they'd be sucked in, and my penis would be inside, inverted, and it would just be like a little slit, like I was a 4-year-old. Like literally, that's how scared I was.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
Like your family, so I always respected it, but I figured fucking let me, if I, you know, you've never said no when I've asked, because it's the first time I've actually went like, hey, let's go on.
We're good, yeah. Let's just talk about it. So, fucking ready to roll. Stu Feiner is here.
Let me turn my phone off, please.
We've done like little things here and there, group things, but you've never done the show, primarily because at Barstool things get so like kind of segmented, and it was just kind of like you're on Advisors, you do the stuff with Dan and Dave, you do gambling. We don't really do that. You know, whatever. He's in his world, I'm in mine. It was never anything like I don't want to do it. But then over the last, I'd say, like year, came out to the house. We did a few more things, and it's like we gotta. And the guy who runs around the fucking joint screaming about eating ass and licking clit and fucking has got to come on KFC Radio.
I mean,
long overdue.
Long overdue. But listen, I just want to say right now, absolutely no hard feelings, and it's an honor to actually be here.
Yeah, no, I love it.
No, I mean legitimately.
When I saw you come through the door, it was almost like you had the light behind you. It was a little bit of a Jesus situation.
Thank you. No. Thank you. Listen, to be a living legend is not easy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like you could be a legend, or and you're dead though. You can't fuck it up. Your legacy. Every day I can fuck up my legacy. I can cancel myself out.
Or you could be a legend.
Right. Absolutely.
A living legend.
Dave thinks if I wasn't under Barstool's control that I would be canceled. I would have been canceled like 8 years ago.
I think
like literally
the total
forever.
opposite. I think.
And in 10 minutes, he said.
I think that Barstool probably brings your reputation down.
Right.
Because of all of our misogyny and all that shit. You, on the other hand, do nothing but honor and respect women and prop them up.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you fuck them, eat their ass, and lick their clit, but you also, you honor them.
Okay, so, here we go.
I mean, this bag is jam-packed, by the way.
Along the lines of what we're talking about here.
You're like Mary Poppins, bro. Well, yeah, we gotta have the cum towel. We all have to have a Stu Feiner cum towel. That's it. Upside down. Flip it over.
It's the official cum towel.
This is the cum towel. I usually
First to Jack, can I throw something at you without you being in like to ruin like a $100,000 operation like overnight? Stu Feiner breaks Jackie's nose for life. He goes at 11.
Yeah, that is.
You heard people left Jackie screaming, I hate that Jew.
The thing about the cum towel, Stu, is almost the problem is I don't want to cum on like a piece of art. You know?
Well,
usually it's just yesterday's boxers and it's gone.
Let me just say something. Like, Colleen, this is yours, by the way. So if you're filming this, so let me just say something. This used to be 90% smaller than this.
Yeah.
But now this is the new way we make them. So you can use this as a bath mat. You can use this as a blotter on your desk. You can actually use it as a towel. But it's plush, so you can come on it, or your woman can come on it.
I think I'm going to use it as a cum towel, and I will clean up the cum.
All right, here, Colleen, catch. So that's yours. And then we have...
I'm trying to avoid looking in his bag, almost like when someone like shows you their pictures, like they're scrolling through their pictures on their phone.
He's like, wait,
and you avoid,
I gotta wait.
You're like, oh,
all right, so this is 1 gram of Joey Diaz's weed.
Oh boy,
it's like
this shit scares me.
It's like,
whoa.
Oh,
that's right. We'll make sure we distribute it to everybody else. I mean, this is known as like the.
This is
primo weed in the world, right?
Primo weed, so good.
Wait, so is this is like I'm feeling like this is like a bud in here. This is like regular grass, if you will, right? This is not.
Yes, that's 1 gram of flower and marijuana.
Total THC, 28%. This is the kind of stuff.
I got higher than that.
I have one shirt for you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, it's the leading seller at Barstool.
Of course.
We're approaching 700. Which people think, you don't realize it's hard to sell 10 shirts. I don't care if you have the greatest idea ever. This is not year 2000. It's not 2005. It's never going to be 2010. It's 2022. When you sell 50 shirts, that's a fucking that's a hit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Three legends on here.
I mean, that's a good shirt.
Yeah. No, that's
a 600. And the first person that said you should do shirts was you. with the diving and the mulches here, and
Mulches
you
here
know,
was one of my favorite
Mulches
videos
here
ever.
was so good.
Mulches
it was
here,
so funny.
Mulches here.
You know what it was? Because it was like so organic. You know, it was
well,
we
that's
just
always the best things. It's like if you thought about, let me make a T-shirt saying mulches here. It's like that's stupid. But when you do it and it becomes funny, then you slap it on a T-shirt. Everyone remembers the moment.
in the context, and
Yeah.
then the diving shout outs did good
Oh,
too.
that- yeah,
Like the
you know,
diving,
when
they
I
sold
swear
like
to God.
300.
Swear to
That
God.
300's an epic number. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not your million, which everything's the standard, but
Dude,
that
if
was
I thought- if I sold 300
that was
t-shirts-
1 in a million.
Yeah.
It was 1 in a billion, and you sold a million.
If we sell 300 shirts, I'm fucking thrilled. That's,
Oh,
that's
What
a
do you
hit.
mean? That's
Yeah,
like
that's
a
hit.
legendary,
That's
you
a
know, and
smash.
that's you, and you're the biggest.
I swear to God, I still do this now, and I definitely did it like for the last couple years when they were a little bit younger. When my kids are upset or they're crying or something's wrong, I show them the Stu Feiner diving video.
And it makes them laugh
And they
with
fucking
Aria,
love it. They
with
love
Aria
it.
going, ah, ah,
But just the way you just dive, they love it. The same, and it's funny because all you're doing is diving.
Thank you. I love that.
All you're doing is diving.
But it's
because-
funny. I'm
but
glad
because
they
it's-
get it.
But,
I'm
funny?
trying to be funny
Isn't
though.
it funny,
When I'm
though, that-
diving, I'm trying to be funny.
I know, but I get that. But the fact that a 5-year-old picks up
But that's
on it
good.
and laughs,
Yes.
it's like, that's how
No,
there's
I
just
like it,
something
that. My
inherently funny.
comedy transcends.
Yeah, it really does.
It doesn't matter because I'm trying to be slapstick to start with.
Uh-huh.
That is the origination of the dive. Like
Well,
you
there's
know.
two Stu Feiners though, and I describe it as there's capital letters, caps lock Stu Feiners, and lowercase Stu Feiner.
Correct.
I'll get a text message from lowercase Stu Feiner that's like, "Do you need anything? Are you okay? You know, bring the kids out." And then I'll get another one that's like, $50,000 lock of the fucking century! Fucking fuck pussy and put your money on this bet. And I'm
That
like,
was a good Stu impression.
it hurt though, dude. I don't think I can do it again. I don't know how your voice. I don't know how your head doesn't explode. I
I'm
don't
telling
know
you,
how you're not
it's
tired.
like the second Buffalo Super Bowl where they lost, and I lost my voice. I couldn't speak for like a week. I went to like a specialist, and he said, "You're going to lose your voice, just a matter of time." I'm like, I'm like, what should I do? He goes, "There's nothing you could do.
Just do it.
There's nothing you
Until
could
it
do."
happens. Well, that was
well,
fucking 40 years later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Stu Feiner, living legend. You can't tell.
So thank God.
You got the strongest vocal cords and the strongest cock in the world.
Unbelievable. Yes, it's a miracle.
Yeah.
Thank you, God.
We just had Steve-O in here, and he said he's not allowed to puke anymore because
Yeah.
of like
If he
how
pukes,
it
it's a
fucks
really
up, like, his
bad-
vocal cords and
Sure.
stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be like similar to when I was in like Overeaters Anonymous when I went into bulimia meetings. So there was overeaters like me, fat. I was 262. Then you had this fucking bulimic girl who was a 10, first of all, on a scale of 1 to 10. She was a 10. But she,
It's working for you, baby.
But but she thought she was fat as me. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what would
Well,
happen.
you-
would force yourself to throw up, and that's
Right.
exactly it. Right.
You fluctuate though, like pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
there's
just gained
pictures
10
of you-
pounds. I've been smoking pot since Joey Diaz.
Right,
10
but
pounds
then,
I gained.
But by fucking Halloween,
No, but it would
you'll be
take. But it
shredded
takes
again.
me almost 6 weeks to lose the 10 pounds.
Really?
7
it's always,
weeks.
It's always more to lose
a
it than it is to
nightmare.
gain it.
Yeah,
You gain
yeah,
it back on it too.
yeah.
But in general, over the course of a year, you'll run a marathon, you'll smoke some weed, you'll go clean, you'll and all of a sudden, there's pictures of you jacked in your underwear.
I have
pictures of you
I
with
have a
that big
good
beer belly.
physical ability to lose weight, and I look healthy. I'm
Yeah.
61. I'm not
Yeah.
fucking 21. Like,
Right, but sometimes that beer belly is fucking.
No, well, I'm obese. I'm 262. Right
Sometimes
now,
I
I'm like
feel like that thing it's like a cannonball in there. It's like even bigger than a cannonball. I don't even know what. Just
it's like it's like a fat lard that could become like an alien, like leap off my body and become like
But then it'll be gone.
a bad SpongeBob, like it just punches people and fucks their women. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just
Keep
a
it
piece
inside,
of
keep it
lard. It's like a piece of lard, like fat.
Like the oil ball from Kramerica
yes,
Industries.
yeah, like a big
Something-
ball
right.
filled with oil. Yes.
You ever think we'd change the world? Shut up and help me dump this
Big
bowl
ball
of
of
oil.
oil out the window. One of my favorite fucking scenes of Seinfeld ever. You just did Twisted History, right?
Correct.
And you walked out of there, and people were talking
I have
like
a sip
they.
of this?
Yeah, that's yours. All right. I think we have a fresh
Yeah, we
one
got
for you.
it's fresh.
Yeah,
right
fresh.
here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You walked out of there, and people were talking like they just spoke to like the Pope or like Forrest Gump or something, like the most interesting man in the world. I mean, your tale it's all fun and games and shit, but like your story is an iconic one. It's been in movies, right? I mean, you've been doing it for decades now. Made a zillion, lost a zillion, earned it back. All of that. It's
44 years.
It's. I mean, the living
It's a
legend thing
long
is funny,
time.
but it's not. Like it's
real.
It's
unbelievable.
You are genuinely a one of a kind. Do you have any like competitors, if you will? Are there like
No.
There's
No,
nobody
because
else, right?
the people that were in my business were either blatant thieves because you were on the telephone when I did it in the 80s, so you were able to embellish a story, create a story, make a story. There was no way to fact check you, so everything you said.
Meaning, like, I just
is
want all my bets hit or
it
whatever?
doesn't matter.
Yeah,
But you can never fact check anything.
Right.
And they were great salesmen. They were con artists. And then, so people embellished stories tremendously.
You had some money to back you up, maybe? Like, look, I made all my bets. I had this mansion.
No,
But, like,
no.
how would anybody even
No.
believe you?
No.
Just blind faith?
How it worked is I borrowed $1,500 from my father and a salesman that was in the industry that I was going into now. The industry was maybe about 5 years old. So I got into it in
Talking about gambling.
Well, sports advisory.
Got it.
When you're not a bookmaker, you
Right.
don't tell them where to bet at all.
Right.
You just
Give information.
give them your selections and they pay you strictly on selections. So let's say it started in like 1976.
Okay.
I got into it full blown in 1980. I worked for people in high school there in 79. I learned the business. And then I watched someone on Channel 4 TV, this guy, Ed Horowitz. His name was the Professor Hicks.
Yes.
He was an accountant that became a cokehead that died in Costa Rica being a bookmaker. But be that as it may, he was one of the big ones that he said
God
he
rest his soul,
invented.
that cokehead.
Exactly. And I owe everything I have to him, really. He created a short form tax form that allowed you to do your taxes, and he made $1 million creating this. That was his proprietary form. It was amazing. And he took that money and dumped it into computers to create football winners. So now the guy owns me. I'm like, you want me to kill somebody? You're right. I mean, like literally.
So
you
wait,
want
so
to
you-
regular
fuck my
cable?
girl? You got it. Like anything. Like there's no way. So I'm like, wow.
Wait, so this is on regular TV?
Regular TV,
Okay.
Friday before the Super Bowl.
And
Friday,
and
1980.
At this point, do you think that you know more sports than the average guy? Or
Not
you're just
until
talking
this
about the
moment. No,
computers?
yes.
You're just
yes,
worried about the technology.
Yeah, well, this is what happened. My father was a Raider and a Viking fan, and I became a Raider fan. My brother became a Viking fan. Vikings were 0 for 4 in Super Bowls. Raiders won their first Super Bowl in 1976. It was John Madden's only Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay? And then this is 1980. So what happens is, I think I have a good opinion because the Raiders won a Super Bowl in 76. My father taught me that defense wins games. I was only pro football. That was the only sport. It was pro football and pro basketball. There was no baseball to speak of, and there was no college sports at all. He never watched college sports. So we became obsessed with pro football. And pro football in the 70s, it was amazing because you had the Pittsburgh Steelers winning 4 Super Bowls, but you had defense winning every Super Bowl. And when you went across the middle of the field was not yours like it is now.
Yeah.
Like receivers come across the middle, they slant across the middle. You know, when I watched football, when I was in my teens and 20s, you could not do that because you were legal. They were legally allowed to clothesline you.
Right.
You know, there was no, it wasn't even a penalty.
Yeah.
You know, and you could pick up a quarterback and dump him on his head in the 70s. You know, you could do things. So
Anything about clothes.
I had a good opinion because the Raiders were winners. I got lucky. John Madden got lucky, and I didn't pick the Vikings. I got lucky because the
Right.
Vikings sucked. They were fucking horrible.
Right,
you know.
right.
So anyway, this guy comes on TV and says that the Philadelphia Eagles -4, they were a 4-point favorite over the Oakland Raiders. We're going to kill the Raiders. We're going to win big. It was Ron Jaworski's team. It was Dick Vermeil was the coach. Ron Jaworski was the quarterback. And me and my father looked at each other like, this can never happen. The Raiders are going to kill him. P.S. The Raiders did. 32-14 was never that close. I said, if somebody can be so smart and come with such energy, like this man came with fire. He's on TV. It's before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He just made $1 million, dumped it in the computer. You know, like, you got to win that game.
Yeah.
You know, I'm some pothead from Farmingdale, Long Island. I know you're a douchebag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now I know you're a cokehead. You know, like, I mean, you just showed me. With that pick, you're a cokehead because listen, it's literally humanly I know that they're the favorite, so you could say, how can you make the statement? But you knew nothing about football.
Yeah.
If you thought that the Raiders were going to lose to the Eagles, that you knew nothing.
Right.
So I went into the business with this guy that was in the business already working for this guy, and he was 43. I was 21. My father lent me $1,500. We took $1,500 from this guy, put $3,000 in the business, and there was a football strike our first year in business, and we had to go to the racetrack, Belmont Racetrack, and bet a fucking horse. We had 2,600 in the bank, and we had like 18,000 in bills. It's our first year business. Now this fucking guy's 43. Like, so he says to me that he knows how to pick horses. So he buys the racing form, sits there like a jerk off, and scribbles. You ever see these people? It's like one of those movies of a murderer. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's a murderer. He's with a pencil, with his glasses. He's like, you know, talking to himself. I'm like. And the fucking thing pays like $18. So, and the rest was history. We took the money and we ran with it. We
now,
rolled.
what I've heard you say, but I think you were in.
But anyway, so am I better than people? Yes, because my skill set is against the grain, against the public. My skill set is I want a dog shit team that's going to get embarrassed against a better team. I want that bet. 80, 90% of the time. I want against what people think. I want against what's easy. I want the opposite of what should happen.
But is that, I mean, you want that, so doesn't that almost like cloud, like sometimes they are just going to get their ass kicked. But if you know, like, are you betting with your head or your heart?
No, not against the point spread. Not against the point spread. The point spread makes it equal. The point spread makes it equal.
Okay.
So I'm not talking straight up.
We have an idea that we want to maybe try to start dabbling in the world of gambling. And it might be the worst idea ever, but
I think it's the best.
But it might be the best.
I think it's the best idea
just
ever. Stu. I think we're
gamble
changing the game.
Gamble,
Get a bankroll. I'll give you the games.
Gamble with your heart.
And
no, gamble with your heart. Like
with your heart.
Like, do I want? Like, do I?
Well,
do I think the Mets
listen,
do I think
you're
the
going
Mets
to get
are gonna blow
lucky
it
here because
tonight?
the Mets are going to win the World Series.
Like the Mets are going to blow it tonight against the Marlins again, and we're going to go to fucking hell. And but I'm betting with my heart we're going to fucking win tonight.
You see, like, listen.
But I know they're going to lose, but I'm betting with my heart that we're going to win.
As a Met fan now, but just let's touch on this just quickly. As a Met fan, you just want to get to the playoffs.
I know, but
listen,
they deserve it so much more than that, Stu. Well, I guess if they blow these games,
no.
But all year long, they deserve it.
There is no shame in the world champs overtaking you at the buzzer because this is their third go around, and it's without their best player, Freddie Freeman, but. They were built 3 years ago to win last year.
Yes, for sure.
The Mets are built this year to win this year. So I mean, you know, if
there is no shame, but there is. It's like God damn it,
but again, we go to the playoffs, and then it's a different ballgame because we are the best team in the playoffs.
Right.
I watched every pitch last night at the Dodgers Padres game. That was an amazing game.
Yep.
I mean, both pitches are fucking amazing. Both of those pitches, and every at bat, like the bases were. I had under 7.5, and the bases were loaded 5 straight innings in a row, and we didn't score. Nobody scored. I'm like, this is unbelievable. But every half inning in that game was played, and every player on their team, both teams, are superstars.
Yeah.
It looked like an all-star game.
Yeah, I know,
it was
crazy.
like I just zoned into that game last night, but it was amazing.
Yeah.
But I think the Mets are going to be fine.
Yeah.
Because in other words, they have the 2 best relievers. I mean, they have
best
the 2
pitchers,
best
best stars,
pitchers,
the best reliever,
and they have the best reliever. And
when
then
their
Seth
offense
Lugo,
clicks,
I believe I could trust with my life when the money's on the line.
I don't know about my life, but I do believe him.
Because we're not winning without him.
No, I know.
Because we need a
the
bridge.
middle relief. Yes.
We need a bridge.
If the middle
to
relief's not
Diaz.
there, just forget about it.
Right. But
even
if we don't have any middle relief, but we have him as a stopper in the 8th, so that Diaz doesn't have to go 8-9.
Right.
Let's say, look, right now Scherzer's going 9. Like,
has to. He better.
And DeGrom really.
Yeah,
You're
know,
emptying
but
it
DeGrom
at this
can't
point.
Even fucking go 7 right now. Anyway, we're getting off track.
All right.
So you start making this money. I've heard you say,
But my point being that I disagree that it slants my opinion because it's a way of life.
Right.
It's a mission statement. Like, in other words, on single game boards, it's not always the underdog. But on a full board where I have to pick, the only value you're ever going to get gambling is using a dog shit team.
Right.
Using a team that the odds makers have to make it
So crazy.
enticing to you that you're getting value.
Right.
So if you can add on top of getting value against the grain, against the public, can't win, you would never want to bet this because it's not even fun if you win. Those bets win more than 55% of the time.
Really?
Yes. Without maybe 57 to 58. Huh?
So you're also in a different spot with like most of the gamblers here because you want to win. Right, like I feel like, and obviously everyone wants to win.
I am not making money gambling a penny on my opinion. I'm making money on people paying me for my opinion.
Yes,
but
when Dan, sometimes someone will tweet Dan and be like, "Nice pick, you fucking idiot," and he'll quote tweet and be like, "Yeah, I'm a big fucking idiot." I know.
There's entertainers and then there's gamblers.
Right.
You were a gambler,
right? For example, That's why when I first started with Barstool Sports Advisors, it was so hard because I was giving out picks in advance that people were fucking saying, "Hey, that's your pick, pal. I don't want to hear about it. It was 5 days in
because
advance."
you guys were doing it on like Tuesdays,
So in other words,
like,
I'm the
before
only
weather shit,
person
right?
that literally I have to win.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other way. Like, you know, I'm 3-0 on the show with my mortal locks. I won every week. My best bet, and it literally was the best bet you could have bet. You know, and I gave it for free.
Yeah, giving up
but,
bets 5 days in
that's
advance is
that's
crazy
the
town,
least
right?
I can do. I won
Right.
all 3 weeks in a row so far. You know, all 3 of them. You know, the other 2, Dan and Dave, were down pretty bad. Like, obviously, they fire a lot of games.
Right.
They're not supposed to win.
Right.
They're
entertained.
see, right.
But you also have this
No,
entertainment
no.
side of you, you know?
I'm one gambling, have to win, and 1A entertainment because
Right,
both
right.
are hand in hand.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? But they could lose every game and they're still great. I lose every game. I'm out of business.
Right.
You know, they're not giving me a salary.
What are you? You're still making money off of people buying picks?
Yes, absolutely. I
And
make
so-
over $1 million a year for the last 4 years of people paying me specifically because they wanted my opinion on a given day.
Interesting.
And then I made another
what was the
400.
That's
most-
gotta feel kind of godlike.
Yeah.
Well,
like
look,
if it's
listen,
in
I'm in
for
control
anything,
of you. Yeah.
Well, listen. You know what it is? It's a tremendous amount of responsibility because, in the end, do they make money? Unless they exactly listen. Like, for example,
yeah.
they're not going to stay with me when I lose 3 weeks in a row, but they have to,
Right,
Because
right.
you're not going to catch the 6 weeks I'm going to win after that,
Right. You
If
gotta
don't
ride it
ca-
out the whole way.
right.
Yeah.
So in
that's
other
why
words,
there's that like.
so no
riding
matter what you do,
together
you're
gambling.
damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Nobody wins. It's,
Right, I mean, it's-
gambling is for the rich to have fun and lose money.
Right.
There's never been an equation where you see the word gambling and you see winning. Gambling is you want to win, but you don't. That's what gambling is.
Right.
Gambling is you fucking try everything possible, but you're not going to win. You know what I mean? Like, you're never winning. Like,
Right.
And people think like, well, come on, I don't want to pay you, because I can do 50% of my own. I can do 40% on my own, like certain times when you call 30%. No, you can't. You normally lose all your money and you're wiped out very quickly, very fast.
Right, and you've
that's
been able
how
to do it
gambling
for-
goes. Gambling is not it's very painful, but it's very quick and painful.
Yeah.
You don't really prolong it. You
Right,
get
right,
murdered.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
rarely do you have people that are making, Dave Portnoy money.
Right.
Big cat money. They can bet 10,000 a game.
lose it,
They can
like,
bet
whatever.
25,000 a game. It's never
Right.
going to affect them. Even me, if I lose 25,000 on a game, 10,000 on a game, I'm fucking crushed.
Right. Well,
That's
you always
not
gotta
happening.
bet responsibly. Always
Yeah.
bet responsibly.
No, you
Whatever
have to
your
bet
unit is,
responsibly.
Yeah.
Two
But-
years ago, I started dipping my toe in the gambling a little bit, and I think I'd always come in and be like, "This is easy, dude. Like I'm winning. I'm not winning anymore."
Well, no. Everybody does win. You catch your winning streak, but eventually turns, and then you have to make a decision. Can you limit the amount of money you bet every day so you could fire every day, but the amounts you're firing are very tiny? Or do you want to go down the road where you lose all your money? There is no other alternative.
What was your highest at your peak? You're making over $1 million a year right now. What was that?
Well, no.
was your highest?
1998 was my best. 1997 was my best year. I made $2.4 million. I wrote $16 million in business. I wrote $8 million on a 220 full-time part-time people organization that worked for me.
Right.
In a building at an
And
8,000 square foot building.
90s, so like 70s and 80s TV,
I was the first
telephones.
person to create TV. I was
Right,
the first
so
person
you're
to have
doing
a show.
TV,
I was the first
and-
person
and
to
it's
do
all
newspaper
calling?
advertising.
They call you and you have like a
People,
recording of your picks. or
I would
something
have
like
an 800 number, and people would leave their name and number. Be Stu
call them
Feiner,
back.
give me a name and number, I'll call you back. Stu Feiner, give me a name and number.
Really?
I had 100 people sitting at stations, little cubicles going, Stu Feiner, give me a name and number, call you back.
that? And
And
then
you
you
would
would
call
call them
back?
back.
No, I would have
okay.
I would have a sales
You would
force.
make a pick.
Yeah.
You would make a list of
But
picks.
it's my face.
Okay.
I'm
And
presenting
then-
myself
and
as
then
the
you would,
picker. Correct.
They would call, you would call back and say, here are all of Stu's
No,
picks, or
no,
just
we
Stu's picks
would,
for the,
no,
you know,
we would
like.
then have to sell
Right,
the customer
right.
and
So
get
they pay-
and get a form of payment.
But that's what I mean. So they,
Yes.
they pay for
They
per,
would pay-
per pick, or they pay for everything.
Every day we have 3 sets of games. We have a single best bet a day, which if you can bet 1,000 to 10,000, 50,000, 100,000,
Put it on that.
you're gonna, because the common denominator to win the easiest is 1 and 0. So if you can
Right.
go 1 and 0, that's what you want to do.
Yes.
Everything else is fun.
Right,
Everything
right.
else is fun.
Right.
You're normally supposed to be betting like 50 bets a year.
Right.
1 a week.
Right.
When I met Big Cat in PFT,
Sure.
I told him that I'm part of my take, and they almost
yeah.
threw up. They're
Right.
like, no,
They
no,
do-
no,
they
you
do
don't
50 a
understand.
day,
You don't
yeah.
understand Barstool. We fire. We
yeah,
watch
yeah.
the games. We stream. We fire. We're betting every game, every day. It's
Right,
action.
right.
That's our content.
But-
I'm like,
but for
but you can't win.
financial,
They're like,
one-out,
we,
yeah.
we, we don't care, but
Right.
we can't do it.
So you
just
pick,
said.
you look at you look at the whole board. You say this is the best.
Then I'll
odds,
give
the best whatever.
Then I'll give 3 in, let's say, baseball, 3 in football right now. So I'll
got
give you that combination.
and you don't fuck around like crazy parlays and all
No,
that shit. That's all
parlays are
silly.
sucker bets.
Right.
Always sucker bets.
Right.
And then I'll charge maybe a premium for a major play.
Got it.
That I'll try to attract that $1 million guy
Yeah.
that has $1 million, $2 million bankroll that could bet 25, 50, like Dave, 100,000 a
right.
night in action.
Sure.
Doesn't really matter. That's what they do.
Yep. I mean,
Is that one of the easiest sales jobs in the world, being like a gambling? Because
People love to take on
You cannot get an easier job ever, because they want to believe what you're saying. Because what you're saying is true. That you're going to collect cash
You
because
say
that
anything. You say
nothing. They want to believe
the
you.
coach's favorite color is blue, and the sky is
That's
blue,
why
and the court
in
is blue,
19
and then you fucking
There's a
bet.
Just
big
think about
thing in
this.
New
In
England.
I was doing this in 1981.
Yeah.
Like I
It's
had a
still going.
sales pitch.
Yeah.
I had people to get a job with me. You had to go through a training thing where I paid you $200 for training and lunch every day, and lunch every day just because I like to eat lunch with people. Literally, you know what I mean? I made enough money, it didn't matter, right? So I'd lock you in a room and you'd read a script, and you would just for like 7 hours a day yell it out loud and walk around like psychos for 8 hours and then leave. Then do the same thing next day. So it would be like, 3 keywords in saying, listen, do this, fair enough. Never let the customer talk when you're closing a sale. They're buying you and your enthusiasm.
Yeah, some boiler room type shit.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So in other words,
in New England, there's like a thing like what color
So
sweatshirt
easy.
Brady
So
wears.
get that-
Belichick wears, yeah.
And he wore a red one this week, and they're like, "Well, why are we playing the game?"
Yeah, don't even bother. It's
Like,
it's over, you know.
but to
Belichick
answer your
loses
question,
red.
the easiest sale in the world.
They want
In
it
the
because
world.
As someone
And
who's
there's
a pretty
people
easy
in my
salesman-
business that can get $1 million to $5 million to $10 million out of a customer for nothing,
crazy.
just on a story.
It is the
These people are super rich. Let me just say
Yeah,
this:
yeah.
people are super rich, and hence super lonely. When you're rich, you're lonely.
And you got like a
Like
friend.
you would
a
think
gambling
Dave
buddy
Portnoy
or
has
whatever.
100 best friends. You guys know he has 1 or 2.
Right.
You know what I mean? He does not even have 5. You know what I mean? Like he really
right.
doesn't. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so. In other words,
Caught a stray there.
He who wears
no friends. Okay.
he who wears the crown. You know what I mean? It's very lonely. So in
Right,
other words,
right.
so you would be able to talk to these people, and they paid you just to talk
Just
to
to talk
them.
and
The
shoot the
sports
shit.
meant
So
nothing.
you
The
were like-
gambling meant nothing.
You like male escorts, like male phone
Yeah,
service?
yeah.
No. Phone sex.
Phone sex, yeah.
Infinitum.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I think what I love about it the most in whether it's gambling or stocks or advertising, whatever. I love people who have the gift of gab and the fucking the I'm gonna charm you. Not like you're not like a phony, you're not like a con man, but like I got a product and I'm gonna wow you with my knowledge or my enthusiasm or my charm or my wit, and the fact that you've withstood for 40 years or whatever.
It's the only job I've ever done since 1981.
When the
In
internet
10th
started,
grade-
did you take a hit, or you always evolved?
No, the internet put me out of business. I was
Right.
not ready for the internet.
Right. And
Totally
then,
not
and then
ready.
You
I
were
totally
were you
was like,
wiped out?
Totally wiped out
Yeah.
from 1999 to 2009.
That's a long time. Like, so what are you
Yeah, I
doing
was
there?
balls broke.
Like, what do
I
you-
didn't pay the
you got
mortgage,
mortgage,
for
you got
7 years.
kids, you
I
got,
didn't
like,
pay the
what's
mortgage
going
for
on?
7 years. I put water. I put water from the faucet into water things because I couldn't afford water.
Yeah, but
for my kids.
when you say I can't pay the mortgage for 7 years, don't you lose your house? What does that mean?
No.
What happens there?
Well, for 4 years, the first time, I negotiated with the bank, and I said,
just
I'm
keep,
really
like-
struggling. And then I got a lawyer involved, and then the lawyer just padded it along until I could make good. Then I renegotiated my deal. I gave them 1 payment, and then I went bad again for another 3 years.
Yeah. But
Same
that-
thing. So then they took. Then my mortgage was, let's say, $600,000. Then they took like $740,000. I was in the arrears, interest, taxes, penalties, and they put it on the back of the mortgage. So the mortgage became like $1.5 million.
So you just have to work out of that hole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So right now my mortgage is like $690.
Got it.
So in other words,
But-
that's what they did.
So, and at this point,
So
is,
they
is
don't take
Sandy
the
and the
house.
kid are people scared? Are they freaking out? Dad's not making money. Like we're, you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
listen,
is
my
it
kid,
dark times, or is it
I
like?
was very honest with my kids about everything. So in other words, when I had $4 million in the bank and I was taking, 3 limos of their children to FAO Schwartz and to Planet Hollywood in Manhattan, and we're seeing Les Mis and Phantom and Miss Saigon and Cats,
Times were great,
and the
yeah.
Christmas Carol every year. My son was born Christmas Eve, my 33-year-old, and he was the oldest, but so I didn't want him because he was a Jew, so I didn't want to cheat him out of his birthday, which is Christmas Eve. So I used to take a lot of his friends into there and spend like $10,000. So my kids, when it was big, they was big. I was spending like, let's say, $500,000 a year on entertainment at the house. The house at the time was 7.8 acres. You saw it was 2.5 acres.
The estate
and at
is
2.5, it's breathtaking, right? It's
yeah,
fun.
it's
It doesn't matter if you had $1 billion.
You had like
still want to
3
live
times
there.
that.
Right. It's unbelievable. So, so they, so I was always living in the biggest house in the area, the most expensive, the most elaborate, making the most money. And when things went bad, like went bad for me meant I'm grinding, making like $400,000.
But there's still like
Right, it's
money,
always
but it's
money.
Just, yeah, okay.
It just goes.
So that's what I mean. It was never like you're in trouble as far as like.
Well, no, when I was in trouble, I borrowed money. I borrowed up to $7 million. So it was like $3 million to the mafia at like 4 points a week. I was paying them $12,000 cash a week, no interest back. But I had the strength to do that because I was with people since 1981.
Were you,
Plus, I was an earner. They always looked at me like Stewie the Jew.
Yeah.
And I used to go to the Christmas parties. I was telling like Twisted History, like these people are like, "Hey, this is fucking Stewie the Jew. He's a fucking earner for us. Say hello to Stewie. Meet Vinny."
Well, I also think
Vinny
they
just
love
got
it,
out of
right?
jail for killing 5 people. What? And I'm serious. Meet Vinny the knife. He knifed 10 people.
I
But
believe
he only
it.
went to jail for killing 5. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, thanks. I'm like, I Vinny. My dick is inside my body.
Right. Were you
Pull down my
ever?
pants,
But they
I would
like
have
you,
a
right?
vagina of a 4-year-old. Like literally, there'd be no balls. They'd be sucked in, and my penis would be inside inverted, and it would just be like a little slit, like I was a 4-year-old. Like literally, that's how scared I was for 7
believe
hours
it.
At this party, I just,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did
Yeah.
any part of you, at what stage of this was of your borrowing? Like, did any part of you think, like, I'm getting whacked at this party?
Yeah,
No,
like, were you
The
ever-
very beginning parties when everything was super mellow. Like what happened was this. Like I told the story in Twisted History where we had an office. We had the top floor. I went from 100 square feet to the whole floor, 3,000 square feet. There was a place at the bottom that they got hookers and strip girls to dance at strip clubs. Now remember, this is 1982. And they all look like cracks heads, and they're all like disgusting, ugly, like bones girls,
yeah.
And all of a sudden this guy shows up one day and his name was Joey Bang Bang, and he got out of jail for killing 5 people. And he owns the place. He doesn't like my partner. He made a move on my partner, smacked him around twice. My partner reached out to his friend in the mafia. They smacked him around the 3rd time. It was like the most ridiculous thing you ever saw in your life. But anyway.
You called someone for help and that person beat the shit out of him.
Literally, how wild is that? And the only reason he knew is he had to drive to Brooklyn. They were hyping up this guy that he was going to meet. But the guy that we made a move on him really was a killer. So they weren't lying.
Yeah.
But, and they asked him his address. And he thought that was wild. So he gave him a fake address. Next day they came to the office, smacked him around, and said, "We know where you live. We're going to kill you." They gave the fake address. Oh, my God. The first time the mafia guy downstairs made a move and hit I was late getting to the office, like 20 minutes, otherwise I would have been involved.
Yeah.
The next time, same exact thing. It was unbelievable.
Really?
Like people thought that it was me doing
Right.
it.
You're just missing these guys.
I'm like 21, he's like 43. He's an Italian that went wild, got a toupee, got his face made up, put like $50,000 worth of jewelry. And when this guy got out of jail, he shunned him. I'm like, are you crazy shunning him? He's like, he's a greaseball. I'm like, I don't care what you think
Look
he
at
is.
it, yeah.
He's a murderer, and he's going to kill you, and he's nice to me. I mean, why?
Why are
just
you
like,
doing this?
He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
fuck him. He went to jail. I'm like,
Wow.
oh my God. So it really was fucked up
So
shit.
you were liked by the mafia then? Like,
What?
did you have any enemies? Like, everybody likes Stewie
well,
the Jew, right?
Well, no. This guy was my enemy at the time until
Okay.
I secured a position, and then everything was smooth.
Did
Yes.
you ever,
Yes.
like, was there ever a moment where you were like in deep and like, I'm not gonna be able to pay them back?
No.
You were always like
No,
pretty good
because
with that,
they knew.
And they were
first of all,
like,
they gave me so much credit that it was inhuman.
Got it.
They gave me credit on the shot that I was going to pay back a third of the money, and I paid back 100% with interest.
My man.
You know what I mean? Like so.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then I did.
And what's your famous line? You said I made $72 million and I spent 70, or I made 71 and I spent 72 or something.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Right.
Like literally.
Right, like that's
I mean,
your-
literally.
your
I
life
still
ledger
owe
is
I
that.
still owe a mortgage on my house. I won't. Within a year, God willing.
But I mean, it's amazing. You can't take it
Yeah,
with you.
no,
You
it's a-
spent it. You
you
rode the roller
couldn't do-
coaster. I'm sure it was
Listen.
stressful as fuck. But
Listen.
when it's all said and done, you're on your deathbed. You're gonna say you lived.
for years on end. We'd work from 8 in the morning until 10 at night.
Yeah.
And then we would open all the FedExes that came in that had cash in it.
So that's how you're getting all those.
My only job,
Boxes of money.
and my only job was to like spend the money. So we would then drive to Atlantic City at like 12, get there at like 3:15, gamble until 4. Then it closed down. Then at 4 o'clock, it wasn't 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then we'd eat and come home back to work.
I
That
never
went on for
even thought
years.
about that. Like, obviously, if I logically thought of it, like, yeah, you were getting cash sent to you. It wasn't credit or check.
Yeah.
I guess
Well,
checks too, right?
There was a limit on the amount that people would trust us on a MasterCard and Visa because you could just fucking bang it out. Like you could just hit people's cards, the money goes in your bank, then they charge back a month later, and then they dispute it. You know, you got 3 months there. You could
Right.
just murder people. So,
But that's just, I mean, that would be like straight up criminal shit, right?
yeah,
You're
but
not trying.
everyone did that.
You were doing
Everyone
that?
did- No, I wasn't doing
That's
that.
what I mean.
But
Yeah,
people
yeah.
did in every form of business.
Right.
People were doing that.
Got it.
But in my business, I could never get credit cards or credit because they were like, we don't understand how you're not a bookmaker. We don't believe someone's paying you for bits.
Right.
What are they buying? And I'm like, they're buying my opinion.
brain.
Yeah.
They're like, we're not lending
So,
you a penny on that.
did
So
you-
to get a merchant number was very hard. Like, so we only got like a merchant number at the beginning for $2,500 a week in business. If we're selling, 10, 250 sales, and that was
That's
it.
it, done.
So then people would have to send cash. Problem with cash is you could always get it on the back end after you won, but to get it up front,
Tough. Yeah.
because people are coming in not having money. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people are never paying my business, going, "Hey, how you doing? I'm doing great. I'm gambling. I'm winning. Let's go."
They're always
Here's
trying
money."
to get back.
They might say that, but the reality is they're killed. They're
Right,
crushed.
right,
they're
right,
buried.
right.
You
They
don't
need
you don't
cash.
reach out for help on any level, males, until you're in trouble.
Right.
It's already too late.
Right,
Like most
right.
of the time.
For sure.
So so it was like the easiest sale. It was a good sale.
Did you ever think about just like working in Vegas or something like that? Being a odds maker,
No, not really, because I made for example, I was 21 years old and I made like 250.
Yeah, so you're
23 years old, I made like 500.
19,
I just bought
whatever.
I bought a house for 189,000.
Yeah.
I was already killing. You know what I mean?
Right, there's no need to do it, yeah.
I bought 3 cars. A brand new Vet, brand new Mercedes, my wife Alexis, brand new.
I was gonna say,
cash.
and that's how you land your beautiful
stupid.
wife.
If you are living paycheck to paycheck and need a little relief, hell, even if you're not living paycheck to paycheck and need a little relief, Dave is going to hook you up with $500. Not Dave Portnoy, Dave.com. Go to the App Store right now, get the app Dave, sign up for the extra cash, and you can be rewarded with up to $500 right this second. Right? We all get like random expenses we didn't expected. I have to buy a wedding gift. Right now I need to buy a wedding gift. I need to use Dave to buy a wedding gift because I am super late on a wedding gift. And that's what Dave hooks you up with. I don't have $500 right now because I spend money willy-nilly. Dave is going to give me $500 in order to get a gift. They can do the same thing for you. It doesn't have to be a wedding gift. It can be gas money. It can be clothes. It can be groceries. It doesn't matter. If you need $500, Dave is going to hook you up. No interest, no credit check, no nothing. So go to the App Store right now. Download the app Dave. Again, you go to the extra cash section and they'll hook you up with $500. Go to dave.com/legal right now for all the legal mumbo jumbo, or just go to the App Store and get yourself some Dave. Thanks, Dave.
No. She was
how'd
she was 11th grade, March 9th. I saw her at the Farmingdale
Wow.
bowling alley, and she was at fucking 10. She had blonde hair, blue eyes, at 10. I'm like a 6. She's a 10, and she's bowling. She has these tight jeans on. And when you watch a girl bowl that has a hot ass, is that anything better?
Nothing.
Right? Nothing,
There's
right? You're
nothing
just
better
like,
than
better than a hot chick bowl.
literally, right? And then God forbid if you're getting laid afterwards, you get 2 hours of just like, this is amazing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
she was that good looking, my wife.
So she's been with you
when-
through like kid shit, like
March 9th,
Yeah.
11th grade, so that I went home
Wow.
and masturbated like 10 times. And then March 11th, we went into the city to cop acid from this guy Mountain at Central Park. Sure. 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. He used to have a blotter, so he'd put him in like an eyedropper, and he would drop a little circle, and that would be like a blot on a piece of paper, and we'd buy 100 circles for $100, and then we'd go home and cut them in quarters and sell each quarter for $1. So we'd make back 300. We'd make 300 profit. So
she was
we'd
doing
do
that
good.
with you. Oh, so she's
She
in the
listened
biz,
to this.
huh?
No.
She's a
No,
ride or die
I
chick.
never met her before seeing her at the bowling alley. Never said 2 words to her.
Right.
Would never have the balls to talk to her.
Right.
I just wouldn't. She's way too
Yeah.
hot.
Right,
there's
right.
no way. I literally wouldn't. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
So she's there with this guy that I go in to buy the acid from this guy Mountain, who's 6'9", by the way, hair down to his ankles. He has 2 Doberman pitchers. He takes a Frisbee and wings it like 70 yards. They go fucking get it and come back. So we just sit there and eat acid all day. And we're at Central Park. We're buying hot dogs off the fucking vendors.
watch the dogs
There's
run.
thousands of people. There's so many people. Thousands. And we used to do it most of the time from March to like August, and it was gorgeous weather, and there would be there'd be hundreds of people just watching this guy throw Frisbee and buying acid, and everybody was making money because you was able to make 400% selling it yourself, and it was great, and it was the acid that made you have like a trip where you would have trails, and like if you looked at yourself in a mirror, you would have to cover the mirror because you would melt down like a devil, like you would melt, and you would just be like, ah! It'd be like Freddy Krueger shit. So like when my parents or my friends' parents they used to come home like from work, they'd be like, "Why are all the mirrors coming with towels?" Like if you had a mirror when you walk in, a mirror in the kitchen, every bathroom, it was crazy.
It just looks like a haunted
But
house.
it was trails where you could literally, like, you could have a catch with a baseball with someone, and it would be amazing because the baseball would go, it would leave a trail.
The drugs were that much better back then? I've always heard, Quaaludes
yes,
and
of course,
acid and all that shit. Like,
and the reason being is that they were not like degenerate people that were looking to cut it with something that you can get hurt with. Yeah.
Right,
So you can't trust what you take now.
Right.
So
But back then
we
you
had
get, like, the
pure
good shit, real
connections,
shit.
right?
Yeah.
Everything, cocaine,
Right.
marijuana,
That's the
acid.
coke's the line I always hear, like, the
think about it,
uncut.
like, you trusted a fucking jerk, a 6'9" whack job,
Right.
throwing a Frisbee in
Well,
Central
right.
Park with his blot thing, and I'm
Yeah,
putting it in my, and
Right.
it's fucking up my mind.
But that's
it used to
safer
be able to
than
go
what
like
it is
this
now,
with your
you know?
finger. You would eat it,
Yeah.
and for 6 hours you just go like this,
I'm
and your
always-
finger would go, and then you would pull it back, and you would just sit there. You would sit there for like the whole day, Central Park. That was your day. What'd you do?
Well, when you're making money fucking
man,
gambling,
I
it doesn't
tripped.
matter.
You ever wonder like, when people are
Oh.
like, what did they do before Netflix?
This.
There's a lot of fucking
drugs.
acid.
Oh,
A lot
so
of fucking
funny.
drugs. I'm always so fascinated by the Quaaludes because, like, the Coke is, like, not...
Listen, Quaaludes were very bad. You would
But,
take
like,
a Quaalude and
the-
try to
the-
fuck your best friend's girl in front of him. Like literally.
I thought that was
I'd be-
like a.
It was a downer, but
you
but
would
it
go
made,
crazy.
it made
You'd go wild?
Every woman
Everybody
lose.
horny?
Every woman lose. It was like Bill
Interesting.
Cosby's go-to.
Oh, I didn't
that
know
was
that.
his go-to.
I
yes.
thought it was more of a fun
No, that
thing.
was his go-to.
That's a bad thing.
Literally,
Because like the Coke is not.
But people
as good
took
as it
them on
was,
their
but
own. We weren't looking to drug people. You know what I'm saying?
But it's like you might not get
But
good
then,
Coke
let me
anymore,
tell you
but there is
something.
good Coke.
When I went to
Quaaludes
high
is just
school,
gone, right?
when
Like,
I
they
went
don't-
when I went to high school by the college kids and the older brothers of my friends, we were taught to get girls drunk. To
Yeah,
fuck 'em.
yeah.
Or to give them drugs.
There was
to
I
fuck
don't know
'em.
about drugs, but there's always been a like get a girl drink and like
But
see where it
literally,
goes,
so in
you
other
know?
words, it was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
if you look
no,
back,
it's-
it's like, oh my god,
Right,
like
no,
we were taught.
everyone's animals.
It was like
Yeah.
the blind teaching the blind, like
Right,
you know what
right.
I'm saying, like literally.
So now.
So anyway, so March 11th, I just kissed Sandy on the way back from. So anyway, the time we went, so with Sandy first time, he's not there. He's not there. So we go to Brew and Burger. So for $4.95, you can have all the beer, wine, sangria that you can drink, and a giant burger with fries, and a shrimp cocktail, and a cheesecake.
Jeez,
Jesus.
fucking deal.
So we go there, we get annihilated. I'm not a good drinker. I'm like after 5 beers, I
Really?
would give away my life. I'd be
You
like,
would-
you
you
take
never-
my
I would-
clothes, take a
Really?
picture of my 6-inch dick.
But
yeah.
that's not. I don't think of that as a bad drinker. I think
Like
a fun
I
drinker.
could
like,
eat 1,000 milligrams and smoke a half ounce of pot and do 10 dabs right in front of you.
Yeah.
And I could knock out any high school, college fucking fraternity. Like
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
standing.
Right. But beer,
But not,
you get drunk on.
beer
yeah.
or that. Yeah, 5
Right.
shots of that,
See you
I'm
later.
throwing up.
Well,
I'm
you're
right.
it's a little bit. It's
Yeah,
different,
just just not me. So anyway, so in other words, I get back on the train. I go, wow, I really like Sandy. And the 2 other girls that were there, like, you're such a dummy. That's why she's here. So we kissed March 11th, like
that was it.
11:40 at the train station. That was it.
Now-
We're now 10 years in a day and got married.
Now, also though, you're the horniest man alive,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And it's just been horny for Sandy since
yes.
then.
Yes.
Never, you like
Yes.
a man like yourself.
Well, listen,
I think you
let
could
me-
have
let me
betted
just- let me just say
thousands of
this.
women.
Let me just say this, okay? Prostitutes don't count. And can we go on? Can we? I don't have a prenuptial. The first time I'm on this guy, this fucking
don't count.
scumbag kills me now. Yeah. Sandy's gonna read. Sandy's gonna be like.
But so when it's all eat ass lick clit.
It's pretty much. Well, listen. This is you want to hear the essence of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's
so
why we're here. Man.
So I don't come across as like a fraud. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I get involved with Barstool. Now, there is an absolute disconnect because I'm 55 years old.
Yeah.
And you guys are doing cutting-edge 22-year-old things, 20-year-old things, 18-year-old things that, unless you're living it, there's no way you'd even get the joke.
Right.
So, of course, Barstool to me was funny because Dave was being wild, you guys were being wild, but I had no idea of the actual content because it made no sense to me.
Right.
Like,
sure.
you guys said something, I'm like, I have no idea what you just said. It makes me, you're a retard. You know,
Right.
Like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then my kids started telling me, you know, like what it is, and you know, it's cutting edge, and you got to get involved. And then finally, Big Cat and PFT reached out to me by doing a skit with Rhea, who was taking the fish tank food and putting it on. And then they entered Larry the goldfish into the Hilton handicapping contest. 10,000 biggest bettors in the world. They pay $2,000 to enter the fish and $1,000 for a proxy to put the bets in every week. But you've got to live in Nevada. $3,000 for the fish came in 63rd, so it hit like 64%. So it made all the stoolies like millions and millions of dollars. So much so that, you know, Big Cat and PFT robbed them by saying, hey, buy into it. I don't even know where that money went. That was so illegal. Like every time they went into Eric's office, Eric is like, listen, you can't sell anything with Larry. They're like, I'm sorry, Eric. And they leave. I thought that was the greatest content Erica was ever involved with. I would pee in my fucking head. They're wrong. It's like, I don't even know where that money went. But in other words, you know, that's how I got involved. So now I have an audience of 13 to 35.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what is the greatest gift I can actually give them besides being funny? And I'm like, when I was young, when I fucked a girl when I was young, Sandy, 17 years old, come quick. How do you fucking make the girl come? Like, you know, that was my train of reference. You know, I don't know if I made Sandy come until she was like 21. She's with me since she's 17. You know what I mean? Like she made herself come.
Yeah.
But me actually figuring the game out.
Right.
You know, she was too hot. I'm like, I can't believe I'm fucking this girl. I can't believe I'm fucking this girl. I can't believe I'm fucking this girl. I'm fucking a hobbit. She's a 10. You know, like, I mean, she was so smoking hot. Like, if you go to my Twitter, you see what she looks like. Like,
she's a bomb.
She's fucking
She's a bomb
61
show,
years old. She's still classy. You know what I'm saying? So, let me put some meat on the bone here. So I had my partner taught me to buy a vibrator and to eat my wife's pussy and to eat my wife's ass. And I didn't.
When were you eating ass? Like, when was the first time you were eating ass?
1983.
I mean, that's 3. You know, like,
but
I'm
I
sure,
was
like,
taught by him directly. No
right,
one
so
else
then
taught
that
me.
guy's the
That
first
was
guy.
the
It was
first
Stu and Chuck Berry.
actual.
When Chuck Berry was getting it.
That was the first actual, like, literal. Someone said, "Do this," because all the guys I grew up with, which would be my peers.
In 1981, you flipped. You're fucking like eating ass, or like, you know, a tongue gets in there. You're like, I'm doing this on purpose. Because there's a difference, you know. You eat the girl out and you get down there versus like.
She loved it so much and she came so quick, and it was the first time that I did it like it was my job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I did it like my
pioneers,
life was,
both of you.
And that's
she
what
probably went back to her friends going, I gotta tell you about Stewie the Jew. This guy, he does the things.
I was 21, he was 43.
Right,
so he taught me everything. You know what I'm saying? And he used to go to these parents without partners meetings and pick up like 3 girls a night and fuck them all, and like he'd tell me what he did with them. I'd be like, this is insane. So anyway, I thought, what would be great to tell Barstool? And I said, put some meat on the bone. Let me teach them how to eat ass, lick clit, fuck. You know, buy a vibrator, put a 5-minute, 3-minute session. We've been through it, right? Girl, hottest girl in the world, you're trying to bang her for 3 weeks. You get her 3 minutes. You know, and she's not into sucking your dick or eating your ass, so you're not getting a hard on right now. You feel like, wow, I'm an inept fucking lay, and I just came with a girl of my dreams in 3 minutes. You know, that was the story. She's leaving. So that's when I put the 15, 15, 30 together, because it is a simple roadmap to having a plan to have sex. Well, if you can have sex, you have confidence. As a male, it's so important sexually to be at least competent. You
Yeah.
know, you're not
Yeah.
looking to break because I mean, in the fuck world, there's a million great fucks, and you're not one of them. If you
Right.
even
It's
think
gotta
about,
be,
right, basically
serviceable,
whatever.
yeah.
Right. So that's how the 15-15-30 came about.
It's so fucking funny.
Because
man.
sex sells.
I mean, sex and gambling, man. You
Wait,
should get into
15,
the
15, 30. So you're
15 minutes.
yeah.
eating
No,
clit,
I know what
15
it is,
yeah.
but you're eating pussy for 15 minutes at a time.
No.
Oh wait, so what's the 15
Yeah,
to 30?
Well, because but when I'm fucking 13 to 30, not when
Oh,
I'm 61.
Right, but no, but
But you were doing
but 15 minutes you eat her pussy, 15 minutes
That's
you
a
eat her
lot of
ass,
eating
30
pussy.
Yeah.
15 minutes is a long time.
Well, listen,
Gotta do
I
what you
mean,
gotta
listen, in this day and age, you're in a pandemic. You don't even see women. I mean, like, so when you might as well just fucking
Dude, we're
be
out of
good.
the pandemic, babe. Come on.
yeah.
No, but I'm saying
Yeah,
you went
yeah,
through
yeah.
like
Right,
when
right,
I was a
right.
kid, that never happened.
Right,
we
right,
were,
right.
at least.
When did you lose your virginity?
July 4th, 1978. 4 months into the relationship.
How old were you?
We saw a movie called The Band. It was like, and they did a song, "If I don't do it, somebody else will." And I said to Sandy, Sandy, listen, I love you, but there's so many other, hot girls, not as hot as you, but
Yeah.
they will fuck me. And I don't want to fuck you behind your back, but that's God's honest truth.
Yeah.
So July 4th, like 2 days later, we fucked on my friend's bed, and she bled all over the bed. It was crazy. It was like the most weirdest fucking thing. So that was when I lost my virginity. We lost it together.
Together?
Yeah.
And then was that it?
What does that mean?
Like, then were you single?
Never single.
Sandy's your
I've
one and
never
only.
been single.
But yeah, so
But
prostitutes
I've
don't count. But you never
I
had
don't
another
even know what
girlfriend.
you just said. You're a scumbag. Well, no. You're
I'm just saying,
no.
you've
You're
only
a
been in one
lowlife. I'm
relationship.
gonna fight you.
You've only been in
He's
one
gonna
relationship.
Save you from dying. Well,
No, I'll tell you what. I don't save Kevin from dying in interviews.
yeah, like literally. That's like
We know that.
like
fucking asshole.
in reality land, not
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I fucked
Right.
1,000 women like Will Chamberlain, and my dick's the biggest, and I'm the greatest liar, even though I am a good lay because I try so hard.
Right.
And I can make a girl come without even touching her because I'm a great talker. So that's half the battle. You make them laugh and you can make them talk. I can make them come It's about that, without touching
Right.
them. So,
Right.
and I've been taught by some psycho guy with a vibrator up her ass. Vibrator,
That's what the best part
like-
about you, Stu.
Like the whole key is like if I didn't meet him, I might have been like the 1 minute man. Like I would have been
yeah.
your show and my sex life. That's what I would have been.
Well, this also, this is back like this is the Bush's big, right?
Yeah,
So
you-
like
a
someone
lot of-
sitting me down at dinner
everything.
being like, "You
Listen,
gotta
the
eat
only-
ass." Like,
you used to listen. We used to buy a book with it's called From These People, Masters and Johnsons. I think they did like a show on these people, and they created how like when you were gonna come, you would have to grip your penis so that you keep your cum down. Like your partner would have to do this. Like so I fucking put Sandy through this. I'm like, Sandy, you gotta read it. She's like, can't we just watch Dynasty? Like we're in like a motel. You know what I mean? Like
Dude.
She's like, this is too hard. I'm like, yeah, but I want to hold my penis. Come in for 5 to 10 minutes.
all kinds of stuff in the Barstool store. The jacket is in there right now. Sad Boy Season Terry button-ups, Moonman waffle long sleeve tees, KFC Radio retro logo tees, throwing bombs, banging moms. We do have so much more coming out. It's so sick. Like cool ass fucking Sad Boy corduroy shirts, hats, the knitted polo, which was a big hit, and we will be coming out with a bunch of long sleeve ones. So go to store.barstoolsports.com to shop it all now.
When it's all said and done, see, so many people live such a normal life. Like you can do Twisted History, you can do this. You probably should write a book at some point.
I wrote a book. I have a
But
book. Bet you I can. But
You need like a
real book.
Yes. Like someone needs to buy the rights to, there should be movies, and there was movies about you, but like, you know what I mean? There are just so many guys who are just like, I have normal parents, and I lived a normal life, and I got a job,
I
and
got a
I
good
had
story.
a
I
family.
got interesting
Yeah,
stuff.
like
It's endless.
You're with the mob,
It's
and
endless.
you're with the girls,
No, it's
and
endless.
you're in New York City in the '80s, and you know what I mean? You're
It's
gambling,
endless.
you're making millions, you're losing millions, you're
I was gonna
you're
say,
up,
did
you're
we
down.
talk about,
like,
didn't you do something? I remember you were kind of explaining it to me at one of the Islanders games, where you almost like you were like a Ticketmaster before Ticketmaster was a thing. Where
Yeah,
you were
well,
selling tickets to Barclays and like
so-
you were buying them in bulk and
100%.
like you were a third party salesman.
This guy George Kazepis, a Greek, and he graduated from in Elmont, and he was on Arlington. They had a Carvel on the corner there, and that you get off the Southern State at exit 17, you go right to the Carvel, you make a left. His house is right there. Anyway, So me and Sandy love Genesis. We love fucking Genesis. Genesis is our band.
I've seen you rock out to that.
Love
Yeah,
Genesis.
yeah,
It was a year. It was like 2 years after Peter Gabriel left the band. Okay, he was the fronter. He was the singer. He wrote most of the material. Phil Collins was not the front man or the singer. He was the drummer. So now that Peter Gabriel left the band, Phil Collins is the singer and writing most of the material. So they put out an album called And Then There Were Three, because there was really 5 people in the band, and Phil Hackett left the band, and then Rick Wakeman. You know, there was like people. There's people that left, not Rick Wakeman, but there's people that left the band. So then there were 3. And they had the song "Follow You, Follow Me," and that became like me and Sandy's like love song. You know, it was like that was our love song. So we go to Madison Square Garden, and we each give this guy George Gazeppas $40 each, and we buy 7th row center. And we saw the show. He gave me his card. He said, "If you could bring down people and wait online for me, because I know when the concert's going to go on sale, or I know when they're going to get about tickets, and then the next day you use the ticket to buy the show, so I get all the first 5 rows. If you get people, they'll get a free ticket or they'll get $100." Then that was so much money. $100. I was in 11th grade. Oh, $100 like $1 million fucking dollars. So we got all the first 5 rows to every show, and this guy used to let me keep tickets, and I had hundreds of shows. Floated his money. It was like that's how I learned that.
I mean,
every show at
Every show,
MSG.
Madison
It's
Square
fucking
Garden,
fucking-
Nassau
that's
Coliseum,
what I mean,
the
though.
Palladium,
So even
New
from-
Jersey, like
From
20
the time
shows.
you're fucking 16
You know.
years old, you're wheeling and dealing,
And that was just fell into
like,
that.
you've got a
and then we
life
started,
that-
we started selling pot off of that. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
my brother
Doing
went
drugs
into
in the
cocaine.
park.
I was too scared because I didn't want to go to jail. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And in high school, one of my friends that was a year older than me got arrested. Somebody set him up. His friend set him up, and he went to jail for like
You ever
2
have
years.
any trouble with the law?
No, never.
Yeah.
I was arrested once in my entire life. I was at the Trump Castle, and Donald Trump's like first wife, and she like designed this amazing. So we were wasted. It was this, one of my salesman's 21st birthday. We went there. This is going back like
Where's the castle?
Trump Castle doesn't
that?
exist no more in
Where was it?
Atlantic City.
Atlantic City.
He had Trump Plaza,
Right.
Trump Taj Mahal, Trump Castle.
I didn't know about the castle.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so then they had this bust of like one of these men walks around in the tin outfit.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm gonna fucking take this and put it on my brother-in-law's desk. So I took it. We go outside with it, and it can't fit in the fucking trunk. And like they eventually came and arrested me and fucking brought me down, and I had to do 200 hours worth of community service.
200 for stealing a fucking bus?
Yeah, you know how much the bus was worth? $8,000 because it had all these like rubies and diamonds. And grand larceny. I'm like, oh man, oh my god!
I wasn't stealing it for that. I swear
Right,
to God,
exactly.
it was
I
funny.
just wanted to put it on his desk.
joke.
I would have returned it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, it was terrible. So it's the only time I've had
yeah.
any problems with the law ever.
I mean, so you maybe took that one minor hit when the internet came out, but you're like a cockroach, man. You keep evolving. You keep up with Barstool. You
listen,
got the show. You're on
I
the
have a good-
advisors.
I eventually have a good opinion.
You know,
I
so
make people
you do
laugh.
great. How old are you?
I'm 61 right
Yeah,
now.
I mean, like you're with it with social media. You know how to post, how to fit. You'll be doing this until you're fucking dead.
I could do it until I'm dead if I
Yeah,
want to. My
yeah.
wife's retiring next year. When we went balls broke, she got a job. She took the civil service test, got 100. She's super smart, photographic memory, like Jeopardy smart.
You know who's smart too is your kids.
Well, my kids are smart because of
Valedictorian.
her. My kids are smart because of her.
But
yeah.
I just think sometimes you're so funny and bombastic and ridiculous, and then you learn that like you have how many kids? 3, 4, 4, and
33, 31,
they're
27,
like
23.
graduating,
All sons.
graduating magna cum laude, and they have
Yeah,
jobs.
my
it's
my
like
oldest
people-
was valedictorian.
Right.
He went to Brown University.
right. Valedictorian Brown is fucking insane.
1580 SATs, 2280 the new way.
Crazy.
But all my second kid got 1300. My third kid got 1200.
everybody's
1,000.
brilliant. You have this like
And then the
family that's
last,
all
we just let
succeeding, and they're
run
all
wild.
so polite. Like anytime I met them, they're all.
How many
they're
do we
all-
have? 3? 4? Oh, we have 4. No, we have 4.
But they're all so polite to
And he was
me
my
and
college
everybody
athlete.
else.
He was my only college athlete.
It's just that behind the fucking
Well,
veil, there's
listen.
also
That's
this
why
whole family,
I
and
have a
it's,
lot of meat on my. I'm like an onion. You know what I mean? Like in other
yeah.
words, I'm a very good husband, a very good father,
Right.
a very good friend.
Did
I'm an
that
accomplished.
ever get weird? Like,
What?
were your kids ever like, like shut
I
the
always
fuck up,
made
Dad? You're like, being a clown on the TV. Or
I
whatever.
always
It's like,
had-
no, no,
yes,
like you
I
listen
always-
to me first.
No,
Yeah.
they pissed on me.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, they destroyed me. Yeah. From like all my kids were amazing up until they were 14.
No, they fit
then children become scumbags. You know what I mean? Like 14 is the number where they turn on one of their parents, and it only gets worse after
But
that.
now
you know what I mean?
you're
Like,
the fucking cool dad, and you know
Yeah.
they tell you to get into Barstool, and you're a huge part of it now. So
Right.
it's like fuck you, I'm pissing on you.
well,
now.
no, listen. But they're still my kids, and within the the family setup.
Sure, of course.
My wife's always right.
Yeah.
And then my wife tells me to yell at my kids until they come back to my wife, and then my wife yells at me for yelling at them when I told her you told me to yell at
And the
them.
cycle continues.
And that's how it works.
The
So,
funniest thing I think I've ever fucking seen this past summer, Stu Feiner, Stu-a-Palooza, whatever the fuck it was, right? I mean, this party was ridiculous. There was no reason for it, right?
$70,000,
It was
no
supposed to
reason.
be.
and I 70,000
No reason.
and I just
It was supposed to be for the marathon, and you never did the marathon. That's what it was.
26,000 cash. I settled up with. See, my wife couldn't. We'll go back to your story in a second. My wife could never stop me from spending. So now she had a rule where it's match play. You want to spend 10,000? Good. You just got to give me the 10,000 cash. I don't care what it is. You don't got to tell me it's a Met game. You're gonna lie to me. I don't care what you. I don't care what you're spending money on. I just want it. So she murdered me. She stopped me. I had to give her like 160 grand, and I'm fucking. I mean, I'm never going. I don't even want to go to a bar. I don't want to spend a pay for the rest of my fucking life because
Right.
you fucked me, you piece of shit. You got me. And she's right.
Yeah.
Because I should have literally like maybe 50 or 100 million saved.
Yeah.
Because I was making money when there was nobody making money but me.
Yeah.
Like I was like making $1 million a year, and I was trying to spend $1.1 million, and I did. You know
you
what I mean?
did.
Like
Yeah, you can
like
spend it.
crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So.
But yeah, $70,000 party, no reason.
Right, no
Everybody
reason.
there was going, why are we?
No
why are we
reason.
here? And there was something about a marathon that you didn't run, and it was like, okay,
Right.
whatever. We're doing tents and food catered. Someone sang the national fucking anthem.
How great was that?
Amazing.
The band was
girl had a
amazing. No,
fucking-
the band was
she
amazing.
should be like a superstar.
She is.
But
Right,
the
go.
best moment on the mic was when you got on the mic and you started thanking everybody and talking to everybody, and you bring up Sandy, and you were like, she's amazing. She puts up with somebody. I mean, seriously, somebody should fucking murder me. Put me out of my misery. She deserves it. And I mean, it was. I've never laughed so hard. I deserve to be murdered. I put her through hell. Somebody fucking kill me. I've never laughed so hard in my fucking life. It was so goddamn funny. It was a hell of a party too, man. It was like the perfect Stu Feiner experience. You were high as shit, just shoveling food, making sure everyone's good. You're the greatest host. You're telling jokes on the. I mean, you live the life, man.
Yeah,
You really
it was
do.
fun. That was a good party because that might be the last time I'm able to ever get away with that again. You know, like because in other words, she told me she was leaving me like 5 months up into the party every day. I'm like, you're such a scumbag. Why are you killing me? You're not gonna leave me, and you just torture me. She's like, fuck you. You didn't need to spend this much money. I want a kitchen.
It was
you know,
great,
I want to go to Europe. I'm like, honey, it's
It's
one
a
last
party.
party. So I
What does she
literally.
think of Barstool? Does
I-
she likes us, or she thinks we're clowns that are?
You see, like her MO is that she does not like the spotlight. She does not like to be on camera.
Right,
Even
right.
even though she's a perfectionist, when she goes out of her house, her makeup's perfect, her clothes are perfect. She looks like Patty Perfect. She's beautiful. You know, on her worst day is people's best day.
Right.
But no, she says I'm perfect for it. You know what I mean? Like this, you found a home because this is fucking you. You know what I mean? Like literally. But in other words, but she would not be able to do it. Like
Right.
we've had some really good multi-million-dollar guaranteed offers to do reality.
I bet. Yeah.
And she's like,
Can't do it.
I
You don't wanna
if you
do
give
that
me $1
too,
billion.
though.
You know.
I know, but you know,
But I would,
you
but
could, but the
I would do it in a
cameras
hot
and-
second.
Yeah.
Like if my family was, and my kids don't like it either.
Yeah.
None of them like the spotlight. None of them.
Right.
So anything I do is embarrassing on a normal Father Day, no less me. You know, like my kids come home. I'm almost in fight with them. And she's like, they're like, don't like Michelle's post. You're embarrassing me. Everyone sees it. Meanwhile, you know, she's hot in like a fucking. So I like it. You know,
Stu's like, oof, I could just see this bowl.
so like I embarrassed the fuck out of them, you know, like.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do? You know,
I
like,
think they love it deep down. They
Oh
love
no!
you.
Listen, you do what you do.
I
what you
mean,
gotta
we
do.
should do. So you're very close with Joey Diaz, right?
Yeah, like
And-
that's just amazing because you know the whole story with Diaz.
Well, so it's funny you say that because I'm learning the story, and this is what I want to pitch to you. So Ryan Sickler is a podcast and a comedian out on the West Coast. He's very close with Joey Diaz. what he's doing with him is Joey's coming on his show, and Ryan is just kind of peppering him with questions, and Joey is telling the whole tale of his life. He started back in like 1950, whatever, and he goes like hour by hour on the podcast, and they pick up wherever they leave off. And then he said, "I'm going to give you all the tapes, and you'll have the recording of like your whole life history, and it's on my show, but I'll give it to you." We should do that here with you. You come on regularly, and you just tell each of these stories, and we go chronologically from whenever you want to start to whenever you want to end, and it'll be the complete anthology of Stu Feiner.
I could do that.
I mean, because this is like the fucking, the tip of the iceberg. I'd imagine the stories are endless.
Endless.
So as long as you can remember
Then
and tell
I
them,
can
you can
remember
come
them.
on
It's
here
like
and
I
tell.
can't remember somebody's name that I just saw 5 minutes ago.
No,
I
but
can
the
remember
story from
every story
1972
forever.
when you were, yeah.
Like it was yesterday.
I mean, I would love to do it, so we'll have you back whenever you want, and we'll do it like, every couple months or whatever, and we'll tell the whole tale.
Good.
Anything you want to tell the people now?
I have a new podcast that's really funny. It's me and my son Alex.
Okay.
And Alex runs the social media. Alex is my 31-year-old.
When did this start?
I recorded yesterday my
Oh,
fourth.
okay. So it's like this
brand
is
new.
brand new. I was like,
Four.
how did I not know
Yeah,
this?
it's
Okay.
only Stu.
Got it. It's only Stu.
Only Stu.
Okay.
And I just rattled with Alex for about an hour. So, that's something that I would love if everybody could like, subscribe,
Well, do the
spread the word.
do the stories
you know.
there too, and tell it on that.
But I mean, I have it's endless. If I talk for the rest of my life, if I'm coming on your show every day, I have endless stories.
I know,
every
you'll never
day,
stop. Yeah.
Every day. Like I have millions of stories.
When it's all said and
'Cause
done,
I
man,
saw
good or
things.
bad, you
Right.
lived it.
So no two ways about it. So I would like everybody to go to Only Stu, and then BeLikeStu.com is for all my shout outs, which I love doing the shout outs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody calls me. I do so many bachelor parties.
I bet,
Like
dude.
people love me to do a bachelor party where they give me the 10 people and I just torch. They give me little tidbits and I torch the people and then
You must do a
get
lot of
them.
do you do a lot of like the fantasy?
Yes,
fantasy
I do
radio
amazing
ads,
fantasies. I do.
What are your punishments or your
Yeah,
rewards
right.
or whatever?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Right,
So,
right.
and you can get that at BeLikeStu.com, the flags, and now I have the cum towel that I just got out, so you can buy the cum towel. And then on the Barstool store, the Barstool Sports Advisor shirt with me, Dave, and Dan. A quest to sell 1,000 items, and to sell 1,000 items is epic. I mean, have you ever sold
Support
1,000
the-
items on one thing?
I mean, it's very, very hard.
Right.
It's always a big hit when you do that.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
so
right. So
we will make
you
that
can
happen.
count them on your hands.
Yes.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's
oh,
how
yeah,
many
yeah,
times,
absolutely, yeah.
Right.
I mean,
See,
it's-
so in other words, nobody sells like a flag like you did 1 million. How many did you say sold over 1 million flags?
I would guess, I would guess probably.
I mean, that's amazing. But did you get rich on that or not?
That's a whole other podcast, too.
That's another story.
That's all. You want to talk about a podcast?
Somehow
that
the
could go.
second time that story's come up today.
That's what I'm saying. So no, but that's hey, listen. Then that's how it works when you work for a company. You work for
we
Procter
can
and Gamble. You invent Crest toothpaste. You get your salary. That's why you're here, asshole. Like I know Dave Portnoy yelling. Like anytime I put Dave against the fucking wall, I'm like, I want fucking $1 million a year. I want two. I want to fucking be the #1 guy. It's like Stu. I get people like you for 80,000. That's what you're worth. I'm like, I'm not worth 80,000. You fucking, I made you, you scumbag. Your father and you and your uncle watch my show, dick. There is no Barstool without me.
There's kind of some
He's
truth
like,
to that.
he's like
Yeah,
Stu.
yeah.
He's like Stu. Maybe 100 grand. And that's a lot. And that's more than I want to give you, Stu. 100,000. I'm like, Dave, for 100,000, what do I have to do? Come to work every day and work your balls off. I'm like, I go out of business, Dave. I need
Nah, you got
so
too much
funny.
else, man. All right, Stu Feiner, living legend.
Love everyone. It's an honor.
Love
It's
you
such
too,
an
Stu.
honor.
Thank
We'll have you
so
back
much.
soon. It
Really
was great.
Ready to roll.
Make sure you subscribe to KFC Radio on YouTube to get all the video content. Subscribe, comment, like, and make sure you turn on the bell notifications so you know whenever new video content drops.
I want to say something, but the video has to be faster. That's it.